Panagdait sa Dios sa tanan ug sa tanang kabuhatan. I will now be discussing to you what is mass communication and mass media and their definitions, and what is the purpose of mass communication and mass media. So what is mass communication? From the word communication, it is an exchange of information, ideas, opinions, etc. And mass, meaning a large number of people or organization. So basically, what mass communication means is an organized communication through organizational structures, and it is directed towards a large number of people, or it is a communication between a speaker and a crowd, and that is mass communication. Next is mass media. So mass media refers to the various means, materials, or products, both in print and electronic broadcasting forms used in transmitting, distributing, or diffusing information to a large number of people. So mass media is somehow related to mass communication. It is delivering information, ideas, etc. to a large number of crowd or a large number of people. But media has two mediums, that is print and broadcast. So what is print and broadcast? First, let's discuss what is print. Print involves printing, publishing, photocopy, copy reproduction, duplication, facsimile, replica, photograph, printed materials, and etc. So when we say print, this refers to delivering ideas, messages, or information to a large number of crowd using books, brochures, magazines, posters, or even billboards, as long as these printed materials can be accessible to a large number of crowds. So when an information or a message is conveyed to a large number of crowds using tangible materials that is printed or written, that is called print, or that is under the medium print of mass media. The second one is broadcast. Broadcast is the distribution of audio and or video signals which transmits programs to an audience or a large number of people. Electronic broadcasting includes telephone, radio, cable, television, and satellite. So when we say broadcast, this is unlike print, because when we say print, these are the tangible materials that we see. From the word tangible, this is the materials that we can actually touch, and print is the materials that we use, which involves printing and writing, while broadcast is the medium when we convey messages to a crowd using videos or audios. So in print, what we can see in the print medium is only the written or the photocopy or the printed messages that we want to convey to the people. But when we say broadcast, these are the videos or audios, or this is the medium where we can actually see or hear the messages that is being conveyed. So that is mass media and mass communication. So we have just discussed what is mass communication and mass media. So now let's talk about what is the purpose of mass media. There are many. Mass media can be used for various purposes, and that is, first, to provide information to a large number of people. From the word mass media, it is conveying message to a large number of people. Next is to provide education to the masses. When a person, a teacher, or a speaker teaches to a large number of crowd, that is already mass media. And that is one of the purposes why we have this mass media, and that is to provide education. And the third one is to provide entertainment, such as movies, music, sports, videos, and computer games. As mentioned in the previous discussion, or in the previous video, mass media consists of print and broadcast. And in broadcast, these are the audios or the videos that we use. These are the mediums that we use when we want to portray something. And movies, music, sports are shown or presented through videos. And this is why mass media is also about providing entertainment. And this is also included as mass media already, because it is shown to a large number of people, and it is through broadcast. The next one is to clarify, ventilate issues and social concerns. These are usually observed during speeches, and when someone who is in a particular field talks about something, an issue, or it could be social concerns, and they address it through speech, and that speech is being shown or projected to a large number of people. So that is another reason for, or another purpose of mass media. The next one is to serve as venue for propaganda, public relation, and political communications. So you noticed when candidates for a political position will only give their campaign to a large number of people. And that is because of the sole reason or the purpose of mass media, which is to serve as an avenue for a propaganda, public relation, and political communications. Another reason is to provide avenues for expression of partisan and non-partisan ideas, to provide avenues for public service announcement, to generate public opinion or call for collective behavior and social movements, which is usually observed when there are announcements. And the last one is to serve as a vehicle for the expression of aroused feelings, pent-up emotions, and redress of grievances. So those are the purposes of mass media.
What is negative characteristic of mass media? Mass media benefited us a lot, but there are downside to it. Number 1, the manipulation of information for the benefit of a particular interest group or group of people, most especially by the moneyed class person. Number 2, manipulation of large group of people through media outlets for the benefit of a particular political party. Number 3, bias political or otherwise towards favoring a certain individual. Number 4, environmental journalism which distort the truth. Number 5, the corporate media is not a watchdog protecting the people from the powerful. Number 6, a good number of propaganda and information convey half-truth messages. This day, mass media has positive effect on us. It disseminates information for us so that we can learn the issues of the other countries and etc. But mass media is not fully secure for us. It has downside. And I hope for the future of people watching that mass media will also help us.
Okay, so let's proceed to meaning and nature of propaganda. So what is propaganda? When we say propaganda, it is a form of communication aimed at influencing the attitude of a community towards some cause or position. This means that propaganda is a form of persuading. It is a form of influencing community or people by spreading information from it. In spite of that, it is selectively present fact. So this means that not all information spread by the propagandists are true. There are some false. Okay. So moreover than that, propaganda is neutrally defined as systematic form of purposeful persuasion that attempts to influence the emotion, attitude, opinions, and action of a specified target. So of course, in doing propaganda, there is a purpose. No? So what's that purpose? What's the purpose of propagandists? So of course, its purpose is to gain support. To gain support to the specific target that they propagandize. So that is the purpose of propaganda. Now, in addition, according to Garth Jowett and Victoria O'Donnell, they define propaganda as deliberate and systematic attempt to shape perceptions, manipulate cognitions, and direct behavior to achieve a response that furthers the desired intent of the propagandist. So just like what I have said earlier, that not all information spread by the propagandists are true. There are some false. Thank you, and that will be all.
So panagdayon sa Diyos sa tanan sa taon ng kabuhatan. First of all, I am Christian G. Prato, And now I will discuss to you on propaganda techniques. So first of all, common media for transmitting propaganda messages, including leaflets, radio, movies, televisions, news reports, government reports, editorials, books, magazines, campaign materials, talk shows, and posters. So, ito kung mga ipang mention, mo siya mga examples sa media or mga common media na ginagamit para mag-transmit o propaganda. So, in transmitting propaganda, there are a number of techniques that uses logical fallacies, which while sometimes are convincing, are not necessarily valid. So, ano siya kay, according to the book, it is from wikipedia.org. So, kanya kung mga ipang discuss karon kay mga technique na kanang makaingon bitaw nga a media is trying to convince you even though that the medium or the information nga ilaha bitong gihatag kay dili sakto, but then because they use propaganda techniques, their messages are conveyed successfully or ning ano siya ning tatak siya sa tao in a successful way. So first technique is ad nauseam. So ad nauseam or repetition. It is a Latin phrase that means tireless repetition of an idea. So sa repetition or sa ad nauseam is if an idea is repeated enough times, like balik-baliko ng idea o istorya, repetition, even though bitaw nga dili tinuod ang isa ka idea, pag mabalik-balik siya kadungog sa isa ka tawo, kay mahimo siyang tinuod or para sa tao nga nakadungog ato tinuod ato siya kay balik-balik man niya madunggan. So second is ad hominem. So Latin phrase means attacking your opponent. Bitong naka sa argument and then you are nakipag debate ka, but then your opponent has nothing to say against your argument. Instead of invalidating your idea or instead of criticizing your idea, ikaw noon ang iyang criticize kay para para ang dagag tawong nakakita ato gi-criticize kanya instead of your ideas, na iban man kung tawong so naive nga dili kabalo ba mga mo evaluate sa certain situation or certain statements na ginapagawa sa isa ka tawo. Then third one is the appeal to fear. So this approach seeks to build support by arousing panic and anxiety into the people. So gamiton ang panghadlok para madala ka sa isa ka idea or ideology. So for example kaning the El Nino phenomenon is real, save water and save ourselves. So using your fears to para mo submit ka sa ilang mga ideas, ginagamit nila imong kahadlok. So hadlokon kanila para mapadulong ka sa ila. So fourth one is appeal to prejudice. So this refers to the emotional prejudgment and one-sided argument against a group of people based on real or imagined characteristics. So when we say prejudice, ang bitaw sa tao kanang stereotype. Not all are stereotypes, but then prejudice are itong una nimo nga idea about those kind of person. So kato siya bawa it is apparent here sa Pilipinas nga pag Bisaya kay bugo na because the people in Luzon says nasa Mindanao or nasa Visayas kay nagpuyo og province so ila tong gamiton nga idea to to para madala ka sa ilahang gusto nga iparating nga siya. And then fifth one is jump on the bandwagon. So paano ni siya kanang self-explanatory, mura bitaw iparamdam sa mga nga akani daog nami kay Hindi ka lang daghan mi. So dapat sa amo ka kay daghan mi. Nga na, for example, anak kay kanang moingon ang mga advertise propaganda man ang mga advertisements. So ingon sila nga 9 out of 10 doctors recommend this or that. Nga na siya. Second, 6 is black and white fallacy. So this approach presents only two choices with the product or idea being propagated as the better choice. So for example, ang isa-isa ka idea, mayroon sila nga either you are with us or against us. Ingan ang black and white. Marabitaw, tagaan ka nilang two side and then papiliyon ka nila asa sa two side imuhang pilan. And then testimonials. So these are quotations or statements in and out of context. So there is a testimonials mapanaa sa context man ang giingon sa isa ka celebrity or isa ka famous ka person. Gamiton na nila paningkamutan na sa propagandist nga i-connect sa ilahang message nga gusto gusto ihatag sa mass. And then beautiful people. So self-explanatory. This propaganda deals with famous people or depicts attractive, happy people. So magamit sila mga sikat, mga gwapa, mga attractive, dayon mo ilahang gamiton sa ilang propaganda kay makaingon ng mga tao, dirita kay daghag mga na-successful, dirita kay daghag daghag mga arangan sa ilaha. So if kuro mo apiltaan nila, arangan na punta, successful na punta. Transfer, next is transfer or association. So kani siya kay this is a technique that involves projecting the positive or negative qualities of one person, entity, object, or value into another to make the second more acceptable or discredit. So for example, placing satanic signs on or around a picture of an opponent to associate the opponent with Satanism. So there is a transfer association bisag dili bitaw bawa ako ningdagan ko ug pagka politiko and then my opponent kay gusto nila ko i-connect sa child abuse and then mangita na silang paraan nga ang kaning isa ka issue that it has nothing to do with me sa ako nila ipadulong para lang madaot ko. So nga na ang transfer or association. So next is name calling or demonizing the enemy. This refers to giving derogatory name to a person or group to make people reject or condemn the person or the idea of the person or group without examining the evidence. So same ra siya sa ad hominem nga atakihon nimo ang imong opponent instead of their ideas or their product. But there is a name calling and demonizing the enemy kay murag mas mas focus siya on kanang pulling your enemy down, like mo siyang jug ayo, di mo siyang i-associate into different things so glittering generalities. So these are emotionally loaded words and stereotypes applied to an idea or analysis. So there is a glittering generalities kay sa isa ka idea ilabi tong budburan og taman-taman og mga emotionally driven nga mga words or mga stereotypes nga kanang bitong makapa-pull og tawo sa ilang idea. Then third to the last is plain folk or common man. So this approach attempts to convince others that the propagandist position reflect the common sense of the people. So sa plain folk or common man, ang propagandist or bawa ako ang propagandist mo dagan ko og pagka-politiko, and then I will say laki ako sa hirap so para ako sa mahirap. Katong nga ba nga kanawit ang murag ibutang niya ang sa kunuhay daw nga gikan man ko diri so ang mga tawo maano sa ako like, same rami sa kadaghanan nga na bitaw. Second to the last is scapegoating. So imuhang so kanisha is this is assigning blame to an individual or group, thus alleviating feeling of guilt from responsible parties or distracting attention from the need to fix the problem for which blame is being assigned. So imbis bitaw nga if there is an issue nga na there's an issue na prevailing in your area, instead of kuanon sa inyo ang barangay captain ang ang issue, yang mag-scapegoat siya. So mangita siya laing tawo or laing butang nga kapasanginlan ana nga issue. And then last is euphoria. It refers to the use of an event that generates euphoria or happiness, or using an appealing event to boost morale. So mura bitog dili sa euphoria kay gamit sila og event nga kanang maka-induce og happiness bitaw sa tawo para para madala sila. For example, naay adlaw sa inyong calendar nga dili holiday, just like any other days, but then ang kaning inyong mayor per se is gusto siya nga maka-gain og more support sa people. And then nakita niya nga mga tao nagademand bitaw nga mabawa kani nga adlaw kay i-holiday na lang ka ni mayor kay importante ni siya sa tuwa. So ingana iyang gamiton bitaw ang opportunity nga dire malipay sila kay ako silang tagan og euphoric nga experience. So para sa propagandist mabira ni ang tawo nga mga iyahang gi-intend anang iyahang kibuhat. So that's all the propaganda techniques, and let's proceed to the social consequences of collective behavior and social movements to be given to us by Crisel Rupinta.
Punagdait everyone, and before anything else I would like to introduce myself first. I am Crisel Rupinta, and in this video I will tackle about the social consequences of collective behavior and social movements. And according to Panopio 2004, gives the following social consequences of collective behavior and social movements. And these are: first, the collective behavior becomes a vehicle for the release of aroused feeling, accumulated tensions, anxieties, and discontent. Protesters carry placards, burn effigies, shout their chants and songs to express their grievances and demands. Ang collective behavior murag mao ni siya ang kananahimong vehicle, or mura siya mao nahimong kanang way nila para mapagawas nila ilahang feelings, like ilang mga accumulated tensions, ang ilang anxieties and discontent. So ang mga protesters ani is nagadala og mga placards, nag-burn og mga effigies, and also they shout their chants, ilang mga songs para ma-express nila unsay mga hinanakit nila and ilang mga demands. And for the second one, we have here collective behavior and social movements can contribute to social change and improvements. They can result in wage increase and the granting of benefits, new pieces of legislation, replacement of public officials, and popular endorsement of new values or strengthening of values extolled. So, ang collective behavior and social movements daw is nakakontribute din siya sa social change and improvements nato. And also, it can result, or they can result sa pagtaas sa sweldo, sa pag-grant sa ato ang benefits, sa ato ang gusto nga benefits, diba? And also new pieces of legislation, replacement of public officials, pag-utro sa mga public officials, and popular endorsement of new values or strengthening of values extolled. So the third one is the social movements lead to some basic changes in the social structure and policies. Example, labor movements. Nganong ang labor movements is one of the example nga sa social movement nga makahatag ang social movement o kanang basic changes sa social structure, because ang labor movements manggod kay kana bitaw paghatag og kanang minimum wage, pero mas di mo ubos minimum wage, pero mas niubos pa gyud siya. Mura bitaw kanang example kanang ang atong minimum wage siguro diri sa Pagadian murag over 316 ana 320 either ana, pero ang gihatag nga mga sweldo is ubos pa like 200 ana. Example ana is kanang mga kasambahay sa uban, dayon pagkahuman kanang sa construction worker dili bitaw patas ang ilahang sweldo sa ilang trabaho, which is ilang trabaho hagupod baya, so dapat maghatag maghatag sila og kanang tamang sweldo na umaayon sa kanilang um, trabaho, which is kanang kuan po siya kanang lisod po na. So, in the fourth one, we have here, social movements may result in new institutions with new and radical values or in the preservation of the social order. Example is the EDSA revolutions of 1986 led to the ouster of a dictator and the restoration of democracy in the country. So, ang social movements po daw is nag-result po na siya og new institutions. More bitog, ang bunga po niya is new institutions with new and radical values. Example, mo tong giingon na example is kana EDSA revolution. So, without social movements, wala nagka-EDSA revolution of then pagkahuman, walay changes ana. So, mo ni siya nga ang social movements po siya important po ni siya sa ato kay para pud ba nga ma-improve pa nato more better ang ato ang country. So for the fifth one, collective behavior and social movements may result in new directions of the culture and the establishment of new folkways, mores, and values. So ang collective behavior and social movements daw nag-result ni siya og new directions, naghata nato og new ways, kanang new path nato or new directions of the culture and the establishments of new folkways, mores, and values. Mo siya kanang gahatag sa tuwa o kanang new knowledge ang kaning duha para mapabetter na pa nato ang ato ang self and also mapabetter pa nato atong society and also our country.